I'm here with Peter Stetina of the BMC racing team. Uh, Earlier this year, was involved in a horrific crash that could have ended his career. However, about 17 weeks later, he came back and is racing on the bike again. So welcome back.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Um, so tell me a little bit just about. You don't have to get into gory details, but tell me just a little bit about the crash and what kind of injuries you sustained.
Yeah, so early April, I was in the Tour of the Basque Country over in Spain. It's one of the biggest races in the world in Europe, and we were coming into the final sprint of stage one, and we came around a bend, and there were some metal poles in the road that had been neglected to be removed from the race route, which is kind of unheard of. It caught everyone by surprise. A few guys swerved out of the way, and I didn't see him in time. So I basically went 40 miles an hour, knee first, into these metal poles, parking bollards, if you want to be technical. I shattered my kneecap into 4 pieces and then a bunch of other shrapnel. I cracked the tibia from the plateau down, tore the LCL, and I broke 5 ribs. Unfortunately, I stayed conscious through the whole thing. That really sucked. And got a emergency ambulance to the hospital, which, just luck would have it, happens to be one of the top trauma surgery centers in Spain. Go figure. So the team felt comfortable performing the surgery there. And after I'd stay there for 11 days or something, and once I was stable enough to not worry about blood clots on the long flight home, I gotta come back to the US and start rehab, which was, getting out of Europe was a whole nother story for another time.
So yeah, just with such a huge crash where you're out for extended periods. There's always crashes in the peloton, but this one's probably the biggest one that I've seen in a long time. The one that you've been involved with. How did that, in terms of when it first happens, what went through your head in the long term, what was going on?
Well, I didn't have any trouble really getting back on the bike when I finally did, because it was, like you said, it was a bad crash, but it was so out of the ordinary. It's not like I could be scared of going down a hill or riding with the peloton again or something, because this was such a different accident. And I think, there was a lot of outrage when it first happened from the other racers, because they felt like it could have been any one of us. And then, once the outrage subsided, and then you start thinking about, you're glad, because if it had been any other part of my body, I'd probably be dead. So, lucky it was the leg. Unlucky that it was the leg, because those are the money makers right now. But now, I've rehabbed, and then you deal with all the, if you can come back and the what ifs, and, if this could have been a career-ending injury. So, looks like we beat expectations, though, and you just got to keep looking forward.
Sure. I'd like to kind of look at your support system that you had when you came back. Your family has a strong racing history with your dad and then your uncle, is it Wayne?
Yep.
Were they able to kind of, give you any advice, just with how maybe they overcome stuff?
In terms of the support system, they were good for family support. They've never experienced an accident like this. My dad has actually recently suffered a TBI on his bike, and that's a horrible accident too. That's even worse than mine. But he's changed for life. But we can relate in trying to come back against adversity. But in terms of tips on how to fix this, they could just show love and support. But the BMC team has such a strong medical infrastructure. they got Max Testa and Dr. Eric Hayden in Park City, Utah. And so, I mean, Eric does this all day, every day for a living. He redoes knees and shoulders. And so, basically, I flew straight from Europe to Park City and saw him first, and he made sure that the Spaniards did a good job. We didn't have to redo anything, and he kind of has been overseeing the entire process, and he's seen so many of these broken kneecap injuries that he was the biggest wealth of information in the process.
Yeah, what was kind of your daily regimen to get back into racing?
Well, it was pain tolerance, and hopefully this pays off once I really start being competitive again. I'll have a new level of suffering in me, but basically when you finally come out of surgery and so long of bed rest and all this metal in your knee, that your leg is like a wooden board, and you just got to break all that scar tissue down. The only way to do it is to manually crank it. So basically, I told my physical therapist in Santa Rosa that, look, I gotta do this as much as possible because like this is my job. I don't have anything else to do in the meantime. So if I'm not rehabbing, I'm just killing time and delaying my return. So I did physical therapy 2 hours every day, Monday through Friday, as soon as I got back to the U.S. Plus, on top of that, I had some homework and some other stuff, massages and stretches. And but basically in physical therapy, they bend the leg until you are about to cry and you can't take it, and you almost black out, and then they release it and they kind of massage it out and loosen the muscles again because they're always fighting back, and then they crank it again. And some days you get half a degree of bend, and some days you get 3 degrees of bend. You know, you never know. Some days you get none, and you basically just got to force it back into moving. So basically we went from 10 degrees post-injury to 135 degrees now. So I have enough to get over a pedal stroke, although I still have a lot of work to do because I won't really be happy until I can pull my heel to my butt like a normal person.
On those tough days during your recovery, what helped you get through those tough days, and what went through your head on those tough days?
Oh, I don't know. I honestly, the thing I told myself to make sure I kept rehabbing was that even if I can't race again and cycling doesn't work out, that I still won't be happy for the rest of my life if I have this bum knee. Like, I still need to use it to be able to, you know, chase my future kids around the yard or go mountain biking with them or whatever. You know, I need to be able to live, and so at least I can use the excuse of rehabbing for my profession to get back my body, because it's the only one you have. And so I treated that like it was my job. And I also told myself, that was the other thing I said, I'm still a professional athlete, I'm still paid to do it. Now my training is rehabilitation instead of riding a bike. And then, yeah, you just slowly work up from there.
One of your teammates, Taylor Finney, he also had a pretty bad leg injury also. Did you guys rehab together, or were you guys just in contact over phone?
Yeah. Taylor's happened a lot earlier than mine. So he was I called him when I got back stateside, and he had some moral support. You know, it's not the nicest thing to say in the world, but misery loves company in this case. And so it was comforting to me to know that he had a bad accident in his leg just like me, and he was already riding his bike, you know, and of course he was a lot longer out, but so I've been able to at least draw a bit of inspiration from him and see that, you know, you can make it back.
Did you guys have any sort of a competition between you guys on who could get back sooner? Anything like that?
Well, I definitely got back sooner. I mean,
right.
Taylor, we both had Tour Utah as our comeback race. Taylor has he was 14 months out and I was 4 months out. So his injuries were worse than mine actually. They're different, but they were worse because he severed tendons. And those are hard to get working again. Mine was luckily all bone, and bones regrow. Mine was the fastest patella recovery they've ever seen, is what the doctors are telling me.
Wow.
So that was good in terms of that. I mean, I was competitive with myself. Maybe we're a little competitive about our scars. So yeah, we're going for who has the gnarliest photo, the Instagram feed, but
what is your long-term prognosis? What are the doctors saying?
So when they took the metal out of my knee, I still have metal down my leg. That comes out in the off season after I complete a few more races. When they took the metal out of my knee, they stuck a little microscopic camera in there and they took a bunch of pictures. And the doctor's words were the underside of the kneecap, the joint groove, looks pristine, which is great news. So it's sliding in there well, and for a cyclist, when you're bending it 1,000,000 times a day, then it's great. There's some cracked cartilage on the sides. So basically they're like, look, you can finish your career as a professional cyclist. I don't see how it should hold you up. But middle age, you're gonna need a new knee. So I'm just banking that we have some kind of Harry Potter pill by then and I can eat it instead of getting a knee replacement and just grow a new knee.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your thought on your first race back, Tour Utah? How do you feel it went for you?
Survival, really. I mean, I just had to ride on guts. I wanted to be back so bad, and I knew that I didn't have any other. There was no. I couldn't do any damage to it, so it was just as far as I could make it. When the Tour of Utah started, I had been walking for about a month and riding my bike for about 3 weeks. So I was jumping into a race that guys prepare for all season, and I had 3 weeks of training and a massive leg discrepancy in terms of strength. They're nowhere close to even yet, so I'm working on the muscle strength. And I mean, I was a shell of my former self, but I was able to finish Utah. We thought I could maybe make it one stage. I thought best case scenario I'd make it 3 or 4 stages. I finished the tour, which was awesome. And I was proud of that. I was pretty shelled at the end of it. I mean, we had the team chiropractor and the massage therapist every night were basically piecing me back together, but we did it. So, you know, the whole idea was that'll set me up better. I'm so fresh in my comeback still that everything you do that's hard like that, it just brings you to a new level. And so hopefully I'll be at a bit of a higher level now for Colorado, which is closer to my heart. I really wanted to be back for this because my family's from Colorado, and to be able to return to the sport and kind of celebrate that with them was a big driving factor in the rehab.
What are your goals for the Pro Challenge this year?
To finish again. I mean, I'm still not strong enough to really make a mark in this race, so I'll be pack filler and just try to finish the tour and get another level of strength. I'm not strong enough yet to really contribute in terms of going for a stage win, and you know, if I can get some bottles for the guys and help cover a move, then you know that's already good. So you'll be seeing me finish 20 minutes down every day, but maybe I'll finish.
Great. Overall, what's BMC's goals? Is it to put Brent in front, or you know what's the plan? Is there?
For the Pro Challenge, you mean?
Yeah, for like the GC.
Yeah, for the race. Brent came off 3rd in Tour Utah, which is an awesome result in a more climbing heavy race. Colorado is more important with the time trial, which actually I think suits Brent even more. We got Rowan, Dennis, and Damiano Caruso, who are proven Grand Tour contenders, and they are a little tired from the Tour de France. They haven't been as altitude as long, so I think we're almost kind of going in with more of the Joker card, and we have cards to play, you know, and no one kind of knows which route we're gonna go. And I can't tell you which route we're gonna go. I don't even know if we know which route we're gonna go, but we got a deep team, and everyone gets along well, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, first year without TJ.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to see how you guys approach it. I guess last thing, anything that you want to say to your fans?
Oh yeah. The outpouring and the support from this accident has been it's been huge. I mean, a lot of people were angry from the crash, and then a lot of people who have sent kudos and notes, and I mean, I've read every single one on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I really did read every single note, and I can't respond to all of them, but it means a lot, to see how tight knit the cycling community and the local community is. It helps.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Hope you make the time cut every day. That's the
All right.
hardest part, I think.
I'm nervous about that too.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.